go ahead. Hi, thanks. I'm super excited to be doing this, and we are going to be going through the different features of the webinar, in this webinar of QuickBooks 2017. Kayland is here with me as well as Sarah, and we're just going to take a few minutes. Denise had a family emergency, but we're super excited to be doing this. So thank you for being here today. We're just going to jump right on in because we've got a time limit. And please, if you have questions, just submit them via your chat. We will go ahead and answer those if we can in today's webinar. If we cannot, we will email you back. So again, thanks for being here. Okay. So as we talked a little bit about, Denise, she is the founder of EBS Associates, and she has more than 30 years of experience working with many companies and business owners. And she has been named the top 100 pro advisors for the last several years. And we're just super excited to be able to work with her and garner her expertise. This is a little bio about me. My name is Joy Huffman, and I'll be going through the features for you today. I'm an advanced pro advisor in both QuickBooks and QuickBooks Online, as well as an advanced pro advisor in field service management. I'm also certified in several other applications. I am currently teaching for Bookkeeper Career Institute for a QuickBooks Fundamentals class, and I've got just some other stuff in there. Anyway, I love teaching, I love learning, so I'm really excited to be here. All right, let's jump into this. Okay, so the very first feature, and this is a super exciting one, I'm very excited about this, is new scheduled reports. This is included in the Pro, Premier, Accountant, and Enterprise versions of 2017. We've got some how-tos to access it and to be able to set it up. The nice part about this feature is you can set up individual email preferences. You do this through the menu bar by doing Edit Preferences and Send Forms. So that's where you would initially connect your email address, and you can set these up. So that way you can have these scheduled reports that are sent to your clients. If you are someone like us who works with multiple clients, if you are a bookkeeper yourself, you can have them sent to like the owners of the company, or sent to other people, or even sent to yourself, just so as a reminder to be looking at things. Now, here's the thing about the scheduled reports. It puts a deadline on the time that you have to have the work done, because those reports are going to go out whether you're ready or not. So that's actually a good thing in our business, because that keeps us right on schedule, so we don't get past a month or get past a couple of days and don't end up closing the books. So this is a great feature. Please notice that at this point it does not function in multi-user or hosted mode, so just be aware of that. And then scheduling report uses Microsoft's Task Scheduler to complete the automated sending of reports. So that's the first feature, and we're very excited about that feature. When you schedule this report, the very first thing you have to do is you have to memorize it, which most of us are familiar with doing that. But if you're not, we have a little sample here where you click on the Memorize button when you have a report pulled up. Then once you're logged into the file with the Windows administrative rights as the QuickBooks admin user, you have to complete all of the preferences that we talked about, and then you can do a schedule. Okay? It only sends out PDFs, so it doesn't send out Word documents or Excel at this point, but it does send those PDFs. As you can see on this page, it talks a little bit about the schedules that you can send it out during. So we have date ranges. You can send them out on a daily basis. So if you need to look at something where you wanted to look at something like an open invoices report on a daily basis, that can come into your email that way. If you wanted to look at something on a quarterly basis, you can do that. You can see the different varieties you have. And the nice thing is you can put on different dates and different schedules for it to follow for different types of reports. So this is very, very handy. The last step in creating this schedule is composing that email. So you can even cater this email to be something specific. You can send it to multiple people by using the semicolon. You can enter the default email subject line, as well as changing the information that you're sending. After the reports are set up, the admin user for the QuickBooks file can view, modify, delete, and activate whatever schedules that they want to. So if it turns out that the schedule is not something that is going to be consistent for you or something that's going to work for you, then you can go ahead and modify that information. QuickBooks also provides notifications of upcoming scheduled reports. So if that option was selected in the set schedule window, you can do that, and then you can get a notification. Now, for some reason, if the reports don't send successfully, you'll also be given a warning about that. So that's very nice to be able to have that feature there. As you can tell, I've said this a number of times, at EBS, we're super excited about these scheduled reports. This is an awesome feature. So especially for businesses like ours, but even, again, if you're a bookkeeper working for one owner, being able to have those reports and consistently get financials to the owners of the company, it's just huge. So we're really excited about that. Okay, feature number 2 we're going to talk about is the Smart Search. Also a very exciting feature for this. Any of us who've tried to enter transactions at any kind have run into the frustration of some things pull up and other things don't. So in this particular case, and they've used the sample of adding a customer job on a bill, you could enter the 0425 information, and you can see the list of what it brings up. So it will bring up everything that has that in there, whether it's at the end of the title or at the beginning of the title. So that's really nice. So now it's not just having to be exactly the words in the way it is. It's a better search feature. So this is going to save time versus if you do it like I do it, you search for it once, you can't find it, and you end up scrolling a lot. So it's better if you can have a more established search feature. So we're super excited about that as well. That's going to be a big time saver. How you get this particular feature to work is it's under your edit preferences. So you have to make sure that if you're doing it as an accountant for a client who's under you, they have to have their preferences set up as well as we have our preferences set up to automatically open drop-down lists when typing. So make sure that's set up on both. So we put right here, make sure you have you and your client have the My Preference, and then on the General tab, have that marked to automatically open drop-down. This is not a preference that's checked when you start a new QuickBooks. So you need to make sure that you get that taken care of. Okay. The next feature that we're going to talk about is really part of that first feature because it's still in an advanced Smart Search. So what we're talking about here is the in-between amount. So when you do a Control F for a find, right now you have an option of the amount is an equal to, a less than, or a greater than. Right now what they have added in is they've added in it's between these two amounts. So if we're looking for an amount and it's between 500 and 502, we can put in those two parameters now because we're not exactly sure what the amount we're looking for is, but we know it's somewhere in there. So that's really big feature for us, especially when we're looking for something that's based on numbers. So it's nice to have that range, okay? Not just an amount that's equal to, greater than, or less than. So that's a great feature. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit now about the new vendor and custom type filters. So they really have amped this up, and again, this is available in the Pro, Premier, Accountant, and Enterprise version. This, and how you get to this from the Customer or Vendor Center. So you can, what this feature does is it efficiently filters through the displayed list by type with a new filter option included. So this is extremely handy, especially if you're looking for a list of just your subcontractors, or if you're looking for a list of just your suppliers, or if you are tracking your marketing, for marketing purposes, you're tracking the source of your customer come in. There's a lot of people who will use the customer type list to track that. So maybe it's a return customer, or it's a customer that contacted us from Yellow Pages. This is a way to improve those reporting. So it's very, very helpful. There's a lot of people who use these customer types and these vendor types for multiple ways of searching. I'm really excited about that, especially if you think about with the end of the year coming up and preparing 1099s, I need to pull all of my subcontractors, or I could even make a category that's my 1099 vendors and then be able to pull that up easily. So that way I can make sure that I've got all the things that I need before I have to go in and do my 1099s at the end of the year and then realize I don't have half the information. So this is going to be a super help on the filter, another one of those search features. To add in a customer or vendor type, select the list name on the center and then click on the pencil icon to edit it. So this is in the additional info tab that you would edit for a customer or again for a vendor. And you can add a new and create a user-defined type. So that's how you will do that. Okay, back to reports. We are talking about improved report filters, view, and modification. So this is probably one of my favorites, although I have to admit I'm a really big fan of the scheduled reports. What this is talking about is how you apply your filters to a certain report. So you can select the Show Applied Filters in the top left corner of any displayed report, or you can hide them if you want to, and then it's going to capture that information. So on a displayed report, users can select Show or Hide, right? So I want to be clear about what we're looking at here, and then I'll show you what it does because this is super cool. On this next page, you can see down here, down towards the bottom, it selects on this displayed report what your filters are. And that is super nice because I know that I'm sure no one else has ever had data integrity problems with a data file. But when you do, it just always seems to go after those memorized reports. So the nice thing about it is if you have a copy of one of those memorized reports, you've either saved it off as a PDF or you have a printed copy, you can easily go back to that filter list and see how you created that report. You don't have to remember it. It's there. So this is a super exciting thing. So I'm excited about that too. Some great additions to our reports. Okay. Our next feature that we're going to talk about is improved multi-user mode in QuickBooks Desktop Enterprise. So this is available just in the Enterprise Edition. So when you're working in multi-user mode, there's a couple of improvements that have been made on this. So this is super handy. You can, when you do this chat with admin back and forth, you can say, we all know about the chat box, that you can say, hey, I need to be in single user mode. Can everyone get out? You can actually set a time for when we're going to have these people log out. And on top of it, you can say, hey, I think I'm going to be about 30 minutes. So it'll give them a message back saying, admin thinks it'll take 30 minutes to switch back to multi-user mode. So that way, if someone is either working at the data file offsite or working in a place that they can't get to, there's not this, okay, do I go home for the day? Do I wait around? Do I go to lunch early? You know, it'll give them an estimated time. So that is a super helpful thing for being in single user mode. Okay. Optionally, an admin user can force users out of the company file. So, for example, when an employee leaves QuickBooks running after leaving their office. Now, we've had a force-off location, but this is then going to give them a message and let them know, hey, you can't work in the company file because admin switched it to single user mode. And they think it's going to take about 30 minutes to switch back. So this is extremely helpful for getting messages back and forth so we know what we're working with. Okay, visual reminders to record deposits. So these are some of the security features. So for our clients especially, we want to make sure that they are recording their deposits and not just leaving it all in undeposited funds and then forgetting to move it over into their income. So it will let them know, hey, you've got a couple of deposits that are still pending. So this is a great feature for them to be able to do a quick reference to. And also to be able to decide, do I have enough checks to run to the bank? What is it that I need to go in and take a look at? It's just a nice visual pop-up on the home screen. In addition, something we've all been waiting for, the new credit card cleared status. Oh my gosh. Every time you open a credit card, did it clear the bank? Did it not clear the bank? Is it a duplicate? I don't know. So this is super exciting to have this feature as well, that you can see right on the credit card, did this particular transaction clear the bank? We don't have to question that anymore. So very excited about that. So these are some really great added features. Additional features that we have improved deleted users on the audit trail. So that's there. We have, there are some ways to quickly select multiple filtered items. So again, back to your reporting and filtering. The company file name on the deposit summary is something that's been improved, and the timesheet line copy and paste. One more thing that they're doing new this year is they have a new feature tour. So any of these new features that we've gone over today, you can actually do a feature tour and it will walk you through each one of those. So that is super helpful and handy. That is a really quick look at all of the new features that are out in QuickBooks 2017. Now, I know we have some questions that are coming in, and we want to be able to answer those for you. And I'm going to have Kaylin step in. I'm going to introduce her. Kaylin has been with our company for a little while here, and we're super excited to have her. She's been awesome in our sales department, and I'm just really glad that you're here with us. Thanks, Kaylin, for being here today.
Sorry about that. I guess I didn't unmute my headset. Thank you, Joy, for doing the all that wonderful information that we saw in there. Enterprise, Pro, and Premier all sound like they have some really cool stuff to offer in this new 2017 version. I can tell you, having had quite the experience with Enterprise exclusively, that 2017 seems like one of the most valued products that Intuit's put out lately. So they've put a lot of time and effort into the stability of this product and made it so that the past issues that you've experienced with, like the you know, the data integrity and things like that, have really been stabilized and reinforced, so that it's a more solid, wholesome product than what we've seen in the past.
You're absolutely right about that, Kaylin. That's very true. That does tend to be an ongoing issue with a lot of the data files that we've dealt with in the past, and so I'm glad to hear that they are really stepping up some of those features, because that's something that concerns a client. We want to make sure that you know, that those things are happening for them. So we're super excited that Intuit has really stabilized this data file, this particular QuickBooks data file that's coming out right now. Excuse me, QuickBooks software, I said that funny. It's my data file. I know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's a very great feature, being able to do that. One of the things that we want to be able to say too about Enterprise, and I'm saying this particularly because I actually just discussed this with a client yesterday, the Enterprise version versus the Pro or the Premier, is some of those features that have been around for a little while, Kaylin, and we can talk a little bit about this, the batch entry. You can only do that in either an accountant's version or an enterprise. And they haven't added that into the Pro and Premier this time around. I think we were kind of hoping they would a little bit, but they just haven't. So you want to talk about time savings. And when we're in a position right now where we've got this amazing sale that we've got going on the enterprise product, you know, weighing out the time that it takes for somebody to enter each bill individually versus, you know, being able to do a batch entry. I mean, that's kind of huge. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So yeah, the accountants features are something that they felt would be a really good idea to implement into QuickBooks back in the 2016 version, and they keep building on that for the functionality. It's the batch entry, the client data review, the inventory review. So there's a lot of features that business owners, bookkeepers, and someone who has a really good hands-on use of the file is going to find as a huge advantage. And those are exclusive to, like you said, the Accountant Edition, either Enterprise or Standard, or the just Enterprise Edition on its own. So those are newer features that they give exclusively to Enterprise, so that we can make that that add value for the product as a whole. So not only is the amount of time that enterprise has saving you guys by giving you just a really stable, wholesome product that's going to be able to maintain your data and the integrity better, but there's those extra features that add value that really, the batch entry is huge. I mean, just to be able to go in and add in the needed lines to get through those, 30 invoices that you have to process for the day versus having to pay someone to sit there and hand enter it one at a time. So
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and also keeping in mind all of the third-party apps that do those types of things too. I mean, I understand that that's not really what we're talking about here today, but keeping all of that stuff in mind when you're talking about anything having to do with QuickBooks, that there's a lot of third-party apps that will help us minimize our data, actually time at the keyboard. So you've got things like Bill.com and TSheets that brings in our time, and Expensify. I mean, so there's some great third-party apps out there that help with that too. So that's awesome. I know that there probably are some questions, and we're going to get to that here in just a second. We do want to let you know if you have questions about the pricing. We do have just a special price that's going out for from EBS today, and we're going to have that run until 3 o'clock. So if you call tomorrow to place your order, you're not going to get the special pricing, so you got to make sure you do that today. You will be contacting Kaylin. She's going to follow up this webinar with an email and get that out to everybody, but if that email doesn't come fast enough, you feel free to call our offices and ask for Kaylin or someone from our sales department, and they'll get that taken care of for you. So very special pricing just for you, so don't miss out on that. All right, let's go to some of our questions. We have a couple of questions that we're going to ask that we're going to go through here. So let's see. Our questions that we have, someone has asked about having Pro 2015 and was thinking about upgrading to Pro 2017. Can we talk a little bit about that? Absolutely. So if you're upgrading from a prior year, the traditional way that we recommend that you do that is you don't do an upgrade from that's more than 3 years. So like if you had 2014, for example, we would ask you not to upgrade just straight to 2017. You normally want to do it about every other year. So you're perfect in there. From 2015 to 2017, if you were to contact Kaylin and get that QuickBooks Pro 2017 product today, you would be able to just go in and update that. You're going to save a backup copy for 2015, and then you're going to go ahead and reopen it in 2017. There's a few steps that you want to do. You want to make sure you don't have a data file integrity issue and stuff like that. And if you need help with that, you please contact our offices, and we'll have somebody walk it through with you. So that's something that's super handy. So make sure that you are get a hold of our offices to be able to help you with that process if you need. Or if you have additional questions, you can just call us. So I hope that answered your question. That'd be great. Okay, so the next question that we have right now is about emailing the schedule reports. That they do not work with multi-user in a hosted environment. So at this point in time, good question. They work with multi-user, but you can't set them up in multi-user. So that's the first thing that I want to answer. So you can set them up. You have to set them up in administrative, under admin and single user. And then you can process them when you're in multi-user, but they currently do not process in hosted environments. I can bet I know several companies who are working on that solution right now, but at this point, no, that it is something that's standing in the way. So good question for clarification. Okay. Any other questions that we have, please feel free to send those in, and we were going to go over those questions. We've talked again about a lot of the things. I'm going to just hit them one more time. We're going to talk about we talked about the scheduled reports. Those are a fabulous feature. We talked about the improved searching, smart searching functionality, where you can do a quick search in there. And we talked about the improved on the deposits, so that way they can see it on their home screen. We've talked about the deposits on the deposit summaries. We referred to the timesheet list, the improved functionality on those saved filters on the reports. That's just huge. I can't tell you how much time that's going to save. And we do have some more questions, so I'm actually going to switch back over there. Can we please explain about the Smart Search? So the Smart Search we talked a little bit about. Let me roll back up in my my presentation here, get back to that screen, so that way I can kind of answer that question a little bit more for you. So in the Smart Search, what they're talking about is there's two different things. You have the in-between amount search. So if you're doing a control find and looking for an amount, you can do a range. So if you're looking for something that's $500, you can look, but you're not sure if it's exactly 500 or if it's 545 cents. You can put 500 and 501, and it'll search for all amounts in the range. So you have an in-between feature. And then also, this new Smart Search that we were talking about, you can enter in a customer name or an account or whatever it is you're looking for, and it's going to look for all of the transactions that have that information in it. So great question to go back over that. So I hope that answers your question. And how do you look up customers? We're kind of showing that same filter here right now, or same slide here right now. So if you're searching for customers, you can go ahead and type that information in, or you can hit that drop-down menu, that drop-down arrow right there that'll give you a list of all your customers. So there's a couple of ways to do that. We had somebody ask about receiving a copy of this presentation. I believe this will be on our website so that you'll be able to have access to that. And I've been told that we're going to, that should come up by later today. We should have that up on our website. Is that correct? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, as well, we wanted to let you guys know we're going to be sending out an email to everyone who did attend the webinar or who was registered for the webinar. That'll have the pricing that we briefly touched on there for a moment. As well, it'll have a copy of the webinar and the recording all together. That one may come out as a generic one from our email address, but it'll have the recording in it as well as like a thank you for attending and so on and so forth. That one should be about 2 hours after the webinar is ended, so we can clean up the audio and then send it out to you guys.
Great, that's awesome. So one more quick thing that we're just gonna, and then we're gonna wrap this up. Again, I just wanted to thank you for being here with EBS Associates today. And we wish you everyone well and through our holiday season. And we're super excited about these new features in 2017. If you have any questions or we can be a help to you, EBS Associates, please feel free to give us a call, 503-885-0776. Or you can always go to our website, teachmequickbooks.com. And we have, if you can't get a hold of someone and all of a sudden it's midnight and you want to buy QuickBooks Pro, you can get onto that website and we have a way for you to even place that order directly on the website. So you can see a list of our features, the products that we sell, and we've got a great team here at EBS Associates. We're super excited about this year, and just thank you very much for our clients and customers and our vendors that we work with, and the other IRPs that we work with and that keep challenging us to get better and better. And so we're super happy to be working with a company like Intuit. So thank you everyone for coming out today. Have a happy holiday season, and we hope to hear from you soon.